We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India withdraws its diplomats from Canada, rejects Canada's preposterous allegations against its diplomats. Ties plunge further as Canada levels baseless allegations against Indian officials. Focus on technologies for the future as Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 and launch 8th India Mobile Congress. Islamabad under heavy security blanket as it hosts a two-day SCO summit from today. India's External Affairs Minister to participate alongside other foreign dignitaries, including Chinese President Xi Jinping. China sanctions two Taiwanese for separatist acts after holding military drills around Taipei. US calls Chinese war games destabilizing. UK says it risks dangerous escalation in Taiwan Strait. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris hit the campaign trail in the battleground state of Pennsylvania, one of the 7 key US swing states. Harris holds a rally in Erie while Trump holds town hall in Oaks. And now on to the details. India-Canada ties have been strained for over a year and now they've plunged even lower over the same issue. India has expelled 6 Canadian diplomats, including Acting High Commissioner and Deputy High Commissioner. It has asked them to leave India before October 19th. Indian government has also announced the withdrawal of its High Commissioner and other diplomats from Canada, citing concerns over their safety due to Justin Trudeau's led Canadian government's actions amid rising extremism. Let us take a look at this report.
India and Canada have been at daggers drawn ever since Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made a statement in the Canadian Parliament in September last year, charging India of having a hand in the alleged killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. India had dismissed those charges with contempt and demanded proof from Canada. Now, not only has Canada repeated its unfounded allegations, but it has also sent a diplomatic communication to India suggesting that the Indian High Commissioner in Ottawa and other diplomats are persons of interest in a matter related to an investigation. In a sharply worded statement, India's External Affairs Ministry has said, the Government of India strongly rejects these preposterous imputations and ascribes them to the political agenda of the Trudeau government that it is centred around vote bank politics. The Indian Foreign Ministry further said that this communication has come despite the Canadian government not sharing a shred of evidence with the Indian government, even after repeated requests. It was also said that the latest step follows interactions where assertions were made sans facts. The move leaves no doubt that there is a deliberate strategy to smear India for political gains. Prime Minister Trudeau's hostility to India has long been in evidence. Trudeau's 2018 India visit was aimed at currying favour with the vote bank. Trudeau's 2018 India visit rebounded on him to his discomfiture. Trudeau's cabinet has included individuals who have openly associated with an extremist and separatist agenda regarding India. Trudeau's naked interference in India's internal politics in December 2020 showed how far he was willing to go. His government was dependent on a political party whose leader openly espouses a separatist ideology vis-à-vis India. Trudeau's government has been under criticism for turning a blind eye to foreign interference in Canadian politics. Trudeau's government has deliberately brought in India in a bid to mitigate the damage. The latest development of targeting Indian diplomats is the next step in damage control. It's no coincidence that the move has been made when Trudeau is to depose before a commission on foreign interference. The move also serves the anti-India separatist agenda which the Trudeau government has constantly pandered to for narrow political gains. The Trudeau government has consciously provided space to violent extremists and terrorists. Space has been given to harass, threaten and intimidate Indian diplomats and community leaders in Canada. Death threats have been issued to Indian diplomats and others. All such activities have been justified in the name of freedom of speech. Some anti-India individuals who entered Canada illegally have been fast-tracked for citizenship. Multiple extradition requests from the Government of India for terrorists and organised crime leaders living in Canada have been ignored. The MEA also said that India's Canadian High Commissioner Sanjay Kumar is the senior-most serving diplomat and the aspersions cast on him ludicrous and deserve to be treated with contempt. India also went to the extent of saying that it has taken cognizance of the activities of the Canadian High Commission in India that serves the political agenda of the Trudeau regime. Canada had to withdraw 41 diplomats from Delhi last October when India demanded parity over diplomatic representation. Canada has the second largest Sikh community in the world after India, making around 2% of that country's population. Sikh separatism, stamped out in India, has found shelter there and holds political sway in some pockets. National elections are due in Canada in October 2025, and an increasingly unpopular Trudeau government is doing all it can to play vote bank politics with an issue critical to India's national security. With Gautam Roy, Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 in New Delhi on October 15th. This global event will bring together over 3,000 telecom and tech leaders, making India a key player in shaping the future of digital communications and technologies.
India is all set to host one of the most significant global events in telecommunication, the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024. This prestigious event will take place in New Delhi from October 15th to 24th, bringing together over 3,000 industry leaders, policymakers and tech experts from more than 190 countries. On October 15th, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the assembly alongside India Mobile Congress 2024 held at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi.
Honorable Prime Minister has already set the vision for Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance in technology. India has possibly amongst the handful of countries which has developed its own 4G stack. The Prime Minister also said that India has to be a leader in not only 4G but 5G, which we have already rolled out at the fastest pace in the world. And then all about going to the next level of innovation, which is 6G. And this WTSA will be setting all standards and setting the path forward for this revolutionary technology.
Organized by the International Telecommunication Union in collaboration with India's Department of Telecommunication, this event marks the first time the event will be hosted in India and the Asia Pacific region.
So we have roughly about 157 countries who have come here. We have large delegations from countries. We have about more than, I think, about 40 ministers who are joining us here. More than about 3,000 people who have come here. This is also paired with the India Mobile Congress, which is the great India's technology show in Asia Pacific region, which brings together policymakers, academicians, R&D, MSMEs all together. So this is a great sandwich event which we are doing for showcasing India's prowess.
It also gives Indian startups and research institutions the chance to gain crucial insight into developing intellectual property rights and standard essential patents. Over the course of the event, countries will come together to define the standards for next-gen technologies like 6G, artificial intelligence, IoT, big data and cybersecurity technologies that will drive our digital future. For India, this is a game-changing opportunity to influence the global telecom landscape. India takes center stage in shaping the future of global communication. With camera person Gaurav Giri and Uttam, this is Apush Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
Well, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is expected to be in Pakistan to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, the first high-level visit from India in years amid continuing strain in ties between the two neighbors. The 23rd meeting of the heads of government of the SCO member states is set to take place in Islamabad on 15th and 16th of October, for which the authorities have made strict security arrangements. The meeting of the SCO comprises 9 full members, including China, India, Iran and Russia. And the Indian Medical Association will hold a nationwide hunger strike today in support of the fast unto death agitation by junior doctors in West Bengal. Meanwhile, West Bengal Chief Secretary Manoj Pant held a high-level meeting with representatives from various doctors' associations, including the Indian Medical Association, on Monday. He said 7 demands out of 10 raised by junior doctors have been met, while remaining 3 still require some time for resolution. The government is expected to continue discussions with the doctors' associations in the coming days as the protest movement persists. The doctors countrywide are seeking justice for the young doctor who was raped and murdered at RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata. In Bihar too, all the medical colleges and hospitals will be on strike in line with the IMA's call to protest today. OPD and routine surgery will remain closed, while only emergency services will be operational, where doctors will wear black bands while working. And now let's take a look at what are the demands of the striking doctors. Immediate removal of Health Secretary N.S. Nigam. Ramping up security in hospitals. Setting up of centralized referral systems for hospitals. Increasing police deployment in hospitals, including women police personnel. Filling vacant positions of doctors, nurses and other health officials. And on to some weather updates from India now. The Meteorological Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rain for Chennai, capital of the southern state of Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu government has declared a holiday for schools and colleges in Chennai and nearby districts. This decision was made during a review meeting chaired by Chief Minister M.K. Stalin on Monday. The CM also directed authorities to issue an advisory for IT companies in the affected districts to allow employees to work from home till October 18th. The withdrawal of the southwest monsoon has progressed rapidly and is anticipated to end within the next 4 days, making way for the much-awaited northeast monsoon. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. We'll give you all the updates from West Asia conflict as Netanyahu vows to hit Hezbollah without mercy. BCCI announces 3-match one-day series between Indian women versus New Zealand. And Kenya relocates dozens of elephants to larger park.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, China on Monday sanctioned Taiwanese businessman Robert Tsao and lawmaker Puma Shen for alleged criminal and pro-Taiwan independence activities. In a statement, the Taiwan Affairs Office said the Black Bear Academy that both men were associated with was seeking to incite separatism that would endanger cross-strait ties. The move comes as China on Monday launched fresh military drills around the democratically governed island that China claims as its own. Beijing said the drills were a warning against separatist acts of Taiwan independence forces while denouncing Taiwan leader Lai Ching-te of the DPP. Also, China's actions are drawing condemnation from US and UK. The United States said China's actions were unwarranted and risk escalation as it called on Beijing to act with restraint, while Britain doesn't support any unilateral attempts to change the status quo and calls for restraint and the avoidance of any further actions that may undermine peace and stability in the region. And former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned in Pennsylvania, one of the 7 key U.S. swing states. During a campaign stop at Erie, Harris slammed Trump for his ominous comments about the enemy within the United States and threat to deploy the military domestically. Recent polls show Trump and Harris are neck and neck in the 7 swing states: Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina.
Donald Trump, I think in our collective opinion, certainly mine, is an unserious man. But the consequences of him ever being president again are brutally serious. Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged. And he is out for unchecked power. That's what he's looking for.
Well, Donald Trump also hit the trail in the state with a town hall outside Philadelphia. Earlier in an interview, Trump discussed his concerns about the upcoming election day and his potential second term. Trump dismissed Biden's awareness and emphasized that the real threat comes from within the country.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
And updates now from the West Asia conflict. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday vowed to hit Hezbollah without mercy a day after group's deadliest strike on Israel. Hezbollah's drone attack on an Israeli base killed 4 soldiers on Sunday, while several others wounded in the attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited the attack site in south of Haifa and vowed to continue to strike Hezbollah without mercy.
We are continuing to fight. We are paying painful prices, but we have great achievements which we will continue to make. I would like to make it clear, we will continue to strike Hezbollah without mercy everywhere in Lebanon, including Beirut.
Well, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday rejected accusations that Israeli troops had deliberately targeted UNIFIL peacekeepers in Lebanon. In a video message, Netanyahu has accused Hezbollah of using UNIFIL positions as cover while it attacks Israel. The Israeli PM repeated his call for UNIFIL to temporarily leave the combat zone.
The charge that Israel deliberately attacked UNIFIL personnel is completely false. It's exactly the opposite. Israel repeatedly asked UNIFIL to get out of harm's way. It repeatedly asked them to temporarily leave the combat zone, which is right next to Israel's border with Lebanon. In fact, on the day that Israel began its ground operation next to our border with Lebanon, we asked them specifically, please leave this area so you're not harmed. Israel is not fighting UNIFIL. It's not fighting the people of Lebanon. It is fighting Iran's proxy Hezbollah, which uses Lebanese territory to attack Israel. Hezbollah attacked Israel last year without any provocation on October 8th, a day after the Hamas massacre. And it's continued to attack us ever since by launching over 10,000 rockets and missiles at Israel. Hezbollah uses UNIFIL facilities and positions as cover while it attacks Israeli cities and communities.
On the other hand, meanwhile, UNIFIL has refused to relocate from southern Lebanon. The UN force has said that it would remain in place despite pressure from Israel to leave its positions. UN Peacekeeping Chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix said the decision has been made that UNIFIL would currently stay in all its positions in spite of the calls that were made by the Israeli Defense Forces to vacate the positions that are in the vicinity of the Blue Line. 5 peacekeepers were injured in a series of incidents last week, with the latest seeing the UN force accuse Israeli troops of breaking through a gate and entering one of their positions. And updates now on Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, called for a new international security system to preclude future instances of armed aggression as he addressed an online conference on securing peace on Monday. 66 countries and international organizations had taken part in the conference. The discussions focused on future instances of escalation and aggression. Zelensky planned to present a victory plan to Parliament this week, which he discussed last week with leaders of Ukraine's European allies. He also pressed for permission to use Western long-range weapons against Russian targets. Zelensky said it seeks to strengthen Ukraine both geopolitically and on the battlefield before any kind of dialogue with Russia. And now let's take a look at some stories from around the world. In Sri Lanka, Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre, the cultural arm of the Indian High Commission, celebrated the 576th birth anniversary of Srimanta Sankar Dev at Colombo. India's Deputy High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Dr. Satyanjal Pandey, lauded the efforts of the centre in taking the teachings to an international audience by translating and performing the lyrical songs of the 15th century saint. From Michael Jackson's jackets to Noel Gallagher's guitars, music memorabilia will head to auction next month in a sale estimated to raise around £2 million. Entertainment memorabilia auctioneer Prop Store is offering more than 350 music items used by or that once belonged to mega stars at its November 15th sale. It is part of a 4-day event that will also sell film and television props and costumes. And in sports, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, the BCCI, has announced the fixtures for the upcoming 3-match one-day series between the Indian women team and New Zealand. The first match will be played on October 24th, while the second and third match will take place on October 27th and 29th, respectively. All matches of this series will be held at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. They are part of the ICC Women's Championship. Well, Kenya is relocating 50 elephants from a national reserve to a larger park after overpopulation overwhelmed the ecosystem. The step is hailed as a success in conservation efforts. The 42-square-kilometre Mavea Reserve has seen its population surge to 156, prompting concerns about habitat degradation. Elephants are darted from helicopters, then carefully transported to their new home. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.